Mondani, which is the New York mayoral race, which it looks like he's going to win. Some news about a Louisiana man. And we're going to touch on the No King protests that happened over the weekend.
Oh, joy. So
I
excited.
mean, they were exciting, invigorating, young, energetic.
Yeah, youthful. Youthful was the word.
It was a youthful movement.
I drove through one, and youthful was not the adjective I would choose, but we'll get to that.
We'll get there. So
I mean, I didn't drive through one. I drove by one. I should clarify.
You need to specify that.
You do. Yeah.
Nowadays, you need to specify that. So let's talk about Zoran Mondani. And people are going to be like, why are we talking about the mayoral race? Okay. And it's because it is, I think, a nice setup as I like to eventually get all of our stories together, and you'll see connections. You'll see a method.
There's a method to Meseidy's madness.
A little bit on occasion. So Mondani is the New York City mayoral frontrunner. He's currently polling at 52% versus Andrew Cuomo's 28%. And the Republican candidate is Siwa. And I think he's like in the lower double digit. No, I think he's in the single digit. I think he's at 12% or something like that.
No, I saw one the other day that was 9%.
Okay, yeah. Well, he's getting a lot of pressure to step out of the race in the hopes that his voters will coalesce with Cuomo and we can stop Mondani. Now, what went viral recently about Mondani was it was like a breadcrumb of things. So he did a interview with Martha McCallan. And
she did great,
interview,
by the way. She was excellent at interviewing him.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. And in this interview with Martha, she asks some very specific questions, specifically in regards to the Gaza-Israel conflict. And this interview is happening right after the peace deal. And so she asks a question about Hamas. And let me play that segment here.
Do you believe that Hamas should lay down their weapons and leave the leadership in Gaza?
I believe that any future here in New York City is one that we have to make sure that's affordable for all. And as it pertains to Israel and Palestine, that we have to ensure that there is peace. And that is the future that we have to fight for.
But you won't say that Hamas should lay down their arms and give up leadership in Gaza.
I don't really have opinions about the future of Hamas and Israel beyond the question of justice and safety and the fact that anything has to abide by international law. And that applies to Hamas, that applies to the Israeli military, applies to anyone you could ask me about.
Okay.
So that's I don't want to answer your question. That was the eve of the mayoral debate. Now, at the debate, he was again asked questions along these lines, and he refused to he did the same thing that we just saw in that exchange.
And can we just remember that denouncing Hamas is basically the easiest thing you can do as a human, as an American.
It's not just for him to denounce Hamas. She's saying that Hamas needs to lay down their arms. Mind you, I have a video of him.
A very easy thing to say. Very easy.
And I have a video of him the week before where he's being asked questions on this and he's calling for a ceasefire. And then then at this time, there is a ceasefire. And what she's basically asking is do you want to maintain the ceasefire? Should Hamas lay down their arms? And he's like, what?
Yeah.
He's
bobbing and weaving because it's like what we talked about last week. Was it last week on Tuesday? They never really wanted a ceasefire. That's not what they really want.
Well, so then he does the debate, right? And now he does a little bit of dodging and weaving again. And then the day, not even 24 hours later, he is in Brooklyn attending a mosque event. And he has a picture taken with this, what is his name? We were talking about this before we started the episode. His name is
Is he an imam?
Yeah, he's an imam in Brooklyn. I'm going to completely mispronounce his name. His birth name.
Do the audio, Meseidy. This is what Meseidy was doing before we started recording.
Okay, hold on, because I can't. I'm gonna have to share it here because it's just I cannot. All right, let's go over here. So who is he? His name is
Imam Siraj Wahaj.
There you go.
Imam Siraj Wahaj.
Wahaj. Yes. Okay.
Wahaj. Okay.
So then he's at this imam's mosque and he poses for a picture with him. And this is a picture of him with the imam on his account. Now, this is his ex post, right? And he describes him as the foremost Muslim leader and pillar of this community, celebrating him. So who is this guy and why does it matter? Okay. This guy has been in Brooklyn. I think it's been like 50 years that he's been at this mosque. And going back to the 1990s, like early 90s, the federal prosecutors had him on a list as an unindicted co-conspirator in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. He was a character witness for the blind sheik who was convicted of plotting U.S. terror attacks. So he testified on his behalf in court and said that he said, I respect him when he was asked about the blind sheik. And then the NYPD terrorist list of 2024, he was labeled as moderately radical and anti-American. And in case, yes, go ahead.
Pause. Is he an American citizen?
Yeah. His birth name is Jeffrey Kiersey, I believe. And he's from New York. He's from Brooklyn. He's a convert.
Okay, so his real name's something like Bob Smith, but he's now Imam Wahaj. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So I think we need to do a deep dive on how the terrorist watch list works. Like if someone is on it or is identified as moderately radical or extreme, at what point are they not allowed to necessarily live comfortably? I'm confused.
I mean, they have to be, you can label them whatever you want. They still have to be convicted of something, and he hasn't been convicted of anything.
No,
but
he just showed
his
sentimental feelings towards a actual terrorist. And
I think this is what matters here is that not only is it that his background has these sentimental, leanings. It seems like leanings towards terrorists, but
there's an affection,
feels, yes, and then also about how he feels about the United States. Here are some of his greatest hits.
Excellent.
You don't get involved because it's the American thing. You get involved in politics because politics can be a weapon to use to aid the cause of Islam.
So in case you couldn't hear that, because we have captions on video, but he's saying that they need to get involved in politics for Islam. All right, moving on. That was in, I think, 89. This next one is 91 in Canada.
It is an honor to die in jihad. Yes, it's an honor.
I want to defend this country.
He said it was an honor to die in jihad. This one is 1995.
You know what this country is? It's a garbage can. It's filthy. It's filthy and sick.
Every day they will go to school and they put an American flag in front of these little babies, Muslim babies. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. Bullshit!
Okay, again, I am confused as to why this is confusing to you. Like, legitimately, why do you have so much anger? You're in our country, and we are Americans. So, of course, we'll pledge allegiance to American flag. If you do not like that, I just don't understand why they're mad about it. Like, why is that BS to him? Every country does that, including Muslim countries. They pledge allegiance to their flag. What? He's radical. He's
anti-American.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's radical. Like, that's it.
Why do you live here? I mean, I know why they live. It's ultimately for conquest. I get it. Like, they don't want the Western civilization to exist as it exists right now. They want it to be taken over, but it's just 50 years, and he lives probably comfortably, and
well, yeah.
Privileged life in a sense.
So Mondani responded to this because
what did he say?
Well, I thought it was funny because this is the New York Post who decided to, how like they always do these great covers.
Mm-hmm.
So we got this one right here.
Oh my gosh.
It says photobombed. All right. And it says Mondani in gleeful selfie with World Trade Center terror linked imam who called for jihad in New York City. And then it says photobombed across the bottom.
I mean, like no lies detected. Pretty accurate, actually.
So he got a lot of criticism, of course, for this photo. He has not denounced it. He has not separated himself from it. He's not distanced himself in any way. So his
What did he
response was,
say?
he goes, when I stand on that stage and I have a former governor trying to make me feel ashamed for standing up for universal human rights and extending them to Palestine as well, I know I am not alone.
That's
and
not
then
an
the
answer to the
imam,
question. Like,
well,
what?
yeah, I mean, he goes, his whole point, and then he also actually saw another interview of him, which I thought this was interesting, and I didn't go diving deep into it. But he pointed out that other not governors, other mayors of New York have visited this mosque, and that it was never really an issue until he did it. And it's because a line of attack that's coming from his opposition is the fact that he is also Muslim, and that's why they're attacking him. I have no
That's
idea.
fine.
I know that right now you're about to become mayor, and I think this is a problem, especially considering in the context of you refusing to say that Hamas should lay down their arms in the midst of the very ceasefire that you had requested multiple times before, which would make me think that you
It's
didn't
not
really
like that's the only problematic thing he's done. I mean, he posts selfies of him flipping off like a statue of Christopher Columbus. He has said that he's anti-police because they're anti-queer, like just very fringy leftist anti-America sentiment has followed him. And now he's trying to real quick, like get elected really, really fast before anybody notices that I'm actually a radical. I'm not just a socialist, communist. I'm also, kind of for a takeover of the United States. It's fine. Don't pay attention to that.
I think it's just
am I
really
wrong?
unfortunate. No, I don't disagree with you at all. I think that's exactly, and it's because like the issue with him is that of course Cuomo has a ton of baggage, and honestly this is like the worst of all of the worst options is the situation in New York right now. And you also have someone, Mondani, who is incredibly skilled at messaging, very charismatic. The grin is creeping me out. I can't even
It
express
used
how
to be
much it creeps me
charming.
out.
It used to be
And
charming
now
for
it
a
is
minute.
creeping me out.
And now it's like something bad's going to happen. Like something's off.
And there's no question, like, he looks like he is about to, I mean, unless there's something very dramatic that happens, he is going to be mayor of New York. He is going to be the mayor of the financial heart and institution of the United States of America, which I think should be a major concern in general in regards to his communist socialist leanings, but also, I don't like this wishy-washy position that he has in regards to, like, it's fine. You don't have to like Israel. It's not about liking Israel or about liking Israel's government or Netanyahu or anything like that. It's the fact that he has a clear bias against what I would argue are Western values. And considering that he is about to be mayor of the city of New York, I would think that's a problem.
Yeah, it's not just American values that he has a problem with, it's Western values that he has a problem with. And I think that the elephant in the room that people still feel very uncomfortable talking about are the extremely concerning and problematic parts of Islam. And they don't want to address that, but it needs to be addressed because it's a rising concern, because it's a rising population growth in lots of cities and states around the country. And they run, if we're honest, their belief system runs counter to a Judeo-Christian lifestyle and our tradition in the West. And they can't cohabitate. And so that needs to be addressed too, because his religion, just like my religion informs how I vote and what I do, his religion is going to inform that for him as well. I think the whole thing, like AOC would be bad enough. Okay. With socialism, communism, right? This is that, and being, against Western values in general. So
there's no, to me, like, you don't have to like tiptoe around it or anything. Like, that is a clear, and even if you were to take, like, you can even take his faith out of it, it just compounds it, is what it does, because of his political views of him being, where he tries to categorize himself as Democrat socialist, but that is not, I I see him much more extreme than that. I see him more extreme than AOC, and AOC is problematic
for sure.
enough as it is.
And I don't know why no Democrats are coming out and saying anything. Like I get why people like Chuck Schumer aren't, but if you're a Democrat in like a purpley area or one where there's not too much at stake as far as like your seat in the House or something, you need to be speaking out about this. Just say, no, he's a little too radical for America. Like that is not a bridge too far. I feel like the Democrats are a bunch of wimps on